wacky rigging something there?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Not tried it.
Matches your shirt. Kind of blowed out in the light, but it's day glow orange, pink, peach, whatever. Mauve. Mauve. Eased around to a different spot. Now she's baited up. I don't know. You got worms on or what?
I got a worm on it.
On which one? You got two of them out there.
That one.
What's on this one?
One of your little jigs.
You're into my ultralight box.
No.
My little jigs?
One you give me.
I don't know that I've ever give any away.
Boy.
But we're here. Beautiful day. Got a light breeze moving. A little warm, mid-80s. That ain't warm, that's prime to me. I'm a summer person. I can take 90 better than I can 50. And she was referring to a fly, not a jig. A woolly booger fly. But anyway, beautiful day out today. We're trying it again. If we catch, fantastic. If we don't, fantastic. Either way, we're here. We're having fun. You know, we've been asked, and rightly so, I can see that, why we don't go on up lake any further than we do. We go a little further up lake. Now this cove here we're in, you can see some old trees there. It's Stump City in here. Pardon this zoom. You can see a line of trees up through there in the water. Heavy Stump City up in there. We've been up in there before. A couple of times, and it's hard to pick your way through there. But it's Stump City up there. Ohio. Their deal is, now this is a reservoir, initially and primarily, not initially, but still, is a reservoir. They'll dam a holler up that's creek fed, like this, and make a lake. Like I said, this is reservoir for watershed and conservancy district. And there's natural habitat up there, but we just don't care to get into that stump thing. We've done the stump stuff so much that we avoid it. There's plenty of other fishing spots in this place besides going up in there. And these are these stumps that's just below the water surface. You can hit some of them you go across. We just don't care to do that if we know of it and can avoid it. So, but that's why we don't go on up in there. Big stump field. The original creek ran through there somewhere. I've got it on a chart and I know about where it is. It's zigzaggy, and if you follow that creek bed, you can miss a lot of them. But following that creek, the original creek bed, is kind of tricky. You know, the problem is we didn't bring Pam. And that's okay. That stuff works. It really works. But you get overspray everywhere. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's an outline of a foot. Excuse me, overspray everywhere. Next thing you know, the bottom of your boat's so slick you can't hardly stand up or move. But so far we're getting little bites, little ones. I've not thrown in yet. You can see mine. Mine is still hooked up to the pole here. I'm just kind of enjoying the day. And the bite hasn't turned on. It's still early. It's about, what? Let me see here. It's 4:15. So we're just getting to the evening bite here. So we got here about 3:30. Yeah, actually on the water and on station here about 3:30. 3:15 to 3:30. So we're looking to catch the evening bite, and she's just commenting on no bites and little bites. But I want to tell you something. Like I said, I don't know if you can see that outline of that stain or not. That'll come off with dawn when I wash the boat. And right there is the outline of my foot. That stuff gets everywhere. It ain't no wonder our kitchen is so greasy between the Pam and the olive oil and stuff. we were just reminiscing about the day that the boat and the Trailblazer come into being. I got stuck at work. I didn't get stuck at work, but I couldn't get home. Had pretty heavy snow, flooding and snow. A couple of feet or more snow. I'll see if I can dig up a picture, put here beside, on this side. Anyway, I got stuck out. I was driving a Buick Century. And at that moment, I decided I wasn't going to get stuck out no more either. So I spent the night in a roach motel there local. It's complete with bed bugs, cockroaches, drug dealers, and murders. There was a murder there not long after I stayed there.
There was one there.
There was, yeah. Anyway, that's the type of place I got stuck in, and it was less than a mile from work. And I decided I wasn't going to get stuck like that again. And that this Trailblazer is not the first four-wheel drive I've had. So I made it a goal that I was going to go get a four-wheel drive. Something to pull a boat. So I knew a buddy that I really didn't turn on that he had a boat for sale, but I mentioned buying one, and he said he had one for sale. Real good friend of mine for, 30 years, 35 years, I don't know, way back. Way back. Anyway, he mentioned he had one for sale. So we made the deal, which is this boat here, you know. So I went into town and looked at that Trailblazer one more time and decided to go ahead and buy it. Went ahead and done all the business stuff and called dear Sonia there. I said, you know, get Ryan, our son, bring you into town, bring the Buick home. You know, I had another one to drive home. So I was putting the tags on it and everything when they pulled up, and that stunned her. So we got home. I had to let her drive the last couple of miles or so, you know, so she would adapt to it and everything. You know, start warming up and getting warm and fuzzy. We wasn't home 5 minutes. She was still parading around the driveway there looking at the Trailblazer. And my dear friend of 30, 35 years, whatever it's been, comes tooling up to, you know, we lived on that dead-end lane there. He comes tooling up with a boat in tow behind him. He said, I had a little time here. I thought I'd go ahead and deliver it for you. She had no idea we'd made a deal on the boat either. Now, I'm sorry, bud, you know, this is probably not the time to invite you in for coffee. You know, she was... Look at her now.
I was not that upset. Holy cow.
I don't know if it was shock, upset, or what. But there's that the Trailblazer and this boat in the driveway. You know, he was kind of busy and in a hurry or whatever it was. He went ahead and went on home, said he had to go anyway. And but that's how the boat come to be. And this is what I wanted. Something we could get around those local lakes down there, but yet big enough to take out on the Ohio River when the occasion called for it. Bait fish, nothing major. It's 14 foot, but anyway, the Blazer and the boat showed up within 5 minutes of each other, and and there she was, just stunned. I never got stuck at work anymore in the wintertime or anything. So that remedied that, and it was my boat puller. I had a grand scheme plan there that she wasn't really aware of. If I'd mentioned anything, she didn't pay no attention. You know how women are. A man can talk, and they don't listen until you produce sometimes. Look at her. So there's that boat and Trailblazer, and there it was. And I want to give a shout out to my buddy that we got this boat from. We're close. We talk pretty regular, messenger, chat, whatever you call it, and occasionally call. Give a shout out to him. We have really enjoyed this boat. I was thinking coming down the road today, there is no telling how many miles we have put on that trailer, hauling the boat to different places. And there's no telling how many miles this boat has got on it, on the water. You know, this has been 8 years. Every summer, all summer, every week, if we possibly could, weather and other commitments pending. But we try to hit it once in a week and always have since 2015. It was summer of 15 when we bought them both. You know, the Blazer I've put 100,000 miles on my own self. Still more bait fish.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's getting bugs or something's running him out of the water.
I said probably bugs.
But that's the story behind the tiny boat. Now there again, where we're originally from, this was an ideal boat. A lot of the lakes are electric motor only. One of them went to 9.9 or less, but idle speed only, no wake. Which, that's good because there's people who use the gas motor to get off them stumps. That's a highly stumped lake, Tycoon Lake. And there again, another picture over here on the side of that one. A lot of stumps in a lot of places there. We spent 40 minutes one day on a stump trying to get off of it. Excuse me. The only other thing on the lake that day was one of these little plastic bass buggies. She said, "You want to signal him for some help?" And well, what's he going to do? Paddle us off? You know. And we didn't have the gas motor on. We took it off. Just because we couldn't use it at that time. But from then on, we left the gas motor on just to get off stumps. But anyway, that's how this come to be, and I just asked her, do you still enjoy your boat? You know, even though she was standing there with that jaw on the ground in the driveway that day, there sat the Trailblazer and there sat the boat.
It was the timing of it.
I had nothing to do with the timing, you know. What?
I was like,
I didn't know my dear friend was coming out with it. He said, I had a little extra time, thought I'd go ahead and deliver it, something along that line. And when I seen him pulling up, I knew what was going on there, you know, and I'd done the classic Forrest Gump. That's my boat. Totally missed on her. She was in shock. She didn't catch it. I mean, that was the golden opportunity, if there ever was one, to do a famous movie line. And it went right past her. But, yeah, we've enjoyed this boat. And like I said, you know, the reason we wanted this is the lakes are so limited down there and up here, really. There's only a couple of lakes with unlimited horsepower that's pretty open. Buckeye Lake's one of them and Dillon is the other. I think, Alum Creek is such, but that's like Buckeye Lake. That's another play lake. That is where they get out there in their fast boats, their bow riders, their cabin cruisers and everything, and then everybody on their jet skis. Look at me, I can jet ski, you know, zoom, zoom, zoom everywhere.
let's not forget the pontoons.
Yeah, now, I'm not knocking pontoons. I want a small
They get 'em out
pontoon.
there at full blast too.
But anyway, those are the big unlimited lakes. We call them play lakes. Everybody gets out and recreates, and that's okay. I'm not knocking them. But that's why we hit these little, by comparison, these smaller lakes, you know, with limited horsepower. You know, we pulled in, there was three boats on the water. We'd been the fourth one, and one of them was actually pulling out. So, but with that, following Ohio's, wow, this focus is nuts today. With that, Ohio's habit is they'll dam up a holler, you know, between some hills or a little valley, make a reservoir, make a lake. But also, you get the trees and the stumps, and they leave that for natural cover. I understand that. The lake down there, Tycoon, I approached them. They lowered the water level drastically. They nearly drained it all to do some dam repair. And I communicated with them. He's calling you out.
I know. He's on the other side of that stump.
I communicated with ODNR, you know, look, can we cut some of those stumps down while we're at it? Oh no, that's cover for the fish. Deeper down it may be, but it's not just under the surface of the water where the boats are going to hit them, you know, and that didn't go nowhere. And I understand the cover and the structure and all that, I really do. But not up within 2 feet of the surface. You know, they can move down a foot. But that's Ohio's habit. And like I said, right out there you can see a couple of trees. right over here you can see it, and we're about that log there that's sticking out in the water. We're getting into stump fields, so you got to be careful. But that's why we don't use a lot of lakes in a lot of places, or a lot of the lakes in a lot of places, is, you know, you're snagging or you're hanging up on stumps. You're twisted up around your bobber there again, dear. But anyway, that's the story of the tiny boat. And like I said, I wanted a boat like this, shallow draft. Now, we get in a lot of places that other boats can't get. 6-7 inch draft, if that. It's more, you know, we both gained a little weight. We pack a little more, you know, we pack picnic stuff. We don't have it in here tonight, but we pack nighttime stuff. Today we're going to go back to the Blazer and swap out daytime for nighttime stuff if we stay after night. You know, a little heavier shirt and stuff for the dampness, all the bug repellent thing. Can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I'll put it. Thermocell, yeah. From another viewer, sent out as a gift package. Thermocell. We'll pick it up when the time comes. But there's times we haul a lot in here and we draft a little deeper. Now with this 6 horsepower motor with our typical loadout, by the GPS on the phone we get a solid 6 miles an hour with our load. Now if we go lighter, or if it's just me, none of all of our gear, we get upwards 8. You know, we're bouncing 7.9, 7.8 to 8.1. So it depends on what we're doing for the day. And for these lakes that we frequent, that is plenty. 1975 model Evinrude 6 horse. But that's how all this come about with this boat. And like I said, you know, it's exactly what we was looking for. It could have got a big bass boat, but you know, where are we going to take that thing? We can get into small coves like over there where a lot of other boats can't get. Tributaries. We can get up in tributaries, creeks and stuff to feed these lakes. So it was ideal what we was looking for. Now I say, I ain't going to dog a pontoon. I'd like a
small one.
10 to 14 foot pontoon. One of these little ones like they rent around these lakes. One of these days I'll look them up and see if they auction or sell any of them off, you know, when they replace them.
No.
The state lakes where they do the boat rentals. But I don't want a big one, and I don't want to replace this one. That's just going to be an addition. Actually, I'll be honest with you, I can see us pitching a tent on a small pontoon. And, you know, our 4-season tent, we could pitch a tent on it, actually camp and fish the whole overnight instead of, you know, dragging up between midnight and 3 or 4 in the morning. We could spend the night and, you know, hit the whole kite fishing experience. It's not above me to get into one of these places like Squatch Point, and I've had plenty of videos on it, and pitch a tent, but you're not out on the water able to fish when you do that. Whatever you got going on there, he's
on this side now.
He's tantalizing you. Yeah, he's done moved over to this side of that limb. Yeah, I see the stump, and your line's right over it. Anyway, there's a stump right there, just 2 foot this side of her bobber. But anyway, I'd like to add the 10, no more than a 14-foot little pontoon to the fleet. But actually, that's how this tiny boat come about. This is exactly what we're looking for. We can hit these smaller lakes where nobody goes. You know, there's not a soul in sight, even for a Saturday evening. I had some kayakers down at the ramp, and like I said, they hang at that other half of the lake. This is a long lake. Most of them don't find their way up this far before they get tired. Once in a while, you get one that'll do the whole perimeter. And But here's the story of the tiny boat. Coming down the road today, I got to thinking there is no telling how many miles we've put on this boat and that trailer on the excursions we've done over 8 years. A good solid average once a week. Boy, he's right there beside you.
Yeah.
Flipping you off with his fins. Tail fins slapping around. But no telling how many miles we got on this boat. How many excursions we done. Last year being the exception because it was just a weird year. We didn't get out in the boat. You know, when we thought we might have a little time, the weather wasn't with us. Otherwise, we was pretty hooked up. It was just strange. But this boat, we have well used it. Intend on still well using it and having a blast. But yeah, we only got a couple of big lakes here unlimited. You got Alum Creek, Alum Creek, Dillon, and Buckeye Lake, and those are, like I said, recreational lakes. You can go out there and fish, but it's like on Lake Erie. You're gonna ride swells all day long. You're gonna get beat to death, and it's hard to stay out of the channel with those speedboats. You know, stay out of their way. I don't care what the laws are and who's supposed to give to and all that sort of thing. You got one bearing down on you is running 40, 50 miles an hour wide open, and you're in a little 6 horsepower, 14-foot John boat. It gets a little stressful. But anyway, so far we've got nothing. We got one out there slapping the water beside her bobber, just giving her the business, and I'm producing nothing so far. Maybe we should have brought the Pam. It's quit teasing her. It's went somewhere else. She's right out there. He was up there. But now I said we went out once a week. Yeah, that was long before we even thought about YouTube or anything. Our internet was brought in by satellite. We didn't have internet. We didn't have cell signal. So there's no hope of even doing this. But I had a gravy work schedule. I worked Monday through Wednesday one week, off 4, worked Monday through Thursday the next week, and off 3, and it rotated back and forth. I worked 14 or 15 days a month. They was 12-hour shifts, and they was long. I mean, but you know, you got 4 days off one week, 3 off the next week. We're just gone. You know, you get the grass mowed and the chores took care of, grocery shopping, whatever. Like we ever really ate at home, we really didn't. And we would hit the water as long as the weather would stand it. And like I said, we got oodles and oodles of pictures. Very few videos, but you know, YouTube wasn't a possibility. Once you gigged out on that satellite internet, you was backed way down on speeds that just, you couldn't upload, you couldn't watch, you couldn't do nothing. But yeah, airplane. Anyway, that's how I said we was out once a week, you know, and down south, it's only 100 miles south of where we're at now. It made a difference. The weather broke earlier down there. You know, I've got pictures of us out 1st of March. Now up here, 1st of March is not pleasant at all. You know, and into October. October up here, since we've been up here, Central Ohio area, is not pleasant at all. So, you know, boy, what are you doing back here in my territory?
Yeah, he just kind of mingered around a bit.
Good thing I ain't got a line in.
Yep.
But anyway, there's difference in weather, and like I said, the world has changed since then. Did you throw your worm off over there?
I don't think so. I think that was that fish.
Okay.
That trainer.
But the world has changed. Everything's changed. Now I'm retired, and everybody should think, boy, you got free time out the yin-yang to do what you want. Sometimes I do. But the health has changed with that. Some days there are bad days. for her and me, you know, and we just don't get out like we used to. Now we got the granddaughter we help with. Proud and happy and thrilled to do so. Really am. But, you know, she's just not up for the whole boat thing like we do it yet. One making an approach to Columbus Airport. He's over the tree now. He just missed him there. But, yeah, she's just not got the patience. Good grief.
Somebody made a mess.
That was sounding like a murder taking place. But anyway, I hope that come across on the camera. That sounded like you when you're upset with me. Right there at the brush. Good spot. See if you pull something other than a tree out of there. Got something. Oh, incoming. Live action, folks. Ah, all but cleaned her. But, oh, I see a line going up. You might be up in the tree there.
I am. But if he grabs hold of my...
He ain't going to grab it. Your hook's in the tree.
This?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not going to go up there and get that. Sorry. Yeah, I hate to break that to you, but
I thought it was just a bobber.
No, he's not going to climb that tree and get your worm.
I thought it was just a bobber.
So anyway, what was I saying? Anybody that does this knows that, you know, there's a process to getting everything ready, getting everything packed up, getting to where you're going. We consider this a local lake. It's 30 miles each way. And that's local for us. You know, we don't live on the banks of one. You know, Buckeye Lake's about 10, 12 miles maybe. But there again, you know, that's not quite a lake you go and fish in during the peak season during the summer. Between Memorial Day and Labor Day, that's the high-speed people that's out there. You know, they got their bow riders, their jet skis, and everything else out there. And that's fine, you know. They got their lake. But it's just not one we hit during peak season. We learned that the first year we was here. But it's crowded and busy a lot. Now, they do have bass tournaments there. Oh, there's one video where we went through there and there wasn't a parking spot. There's people parked in the grass all along the access roads with trailers, you know, for the tournament. They do have those. But you need to get right back out there again where you was, dear. You know, he's trying to drag you under that brush and eat it. Let's see if he comes out that far. Boy, my phone's busy. But we hit these small lakes like this. Rush Creek here seems to be our go-to lake. We do a lot of good here. Last week we got skunked. This week ain't looking all that good either. But we have our picnic, we got our food and everything, and we're out enjoying nature. She's done about 50 casts here in the last few minutes. Started out way back here, worked her way around and caught, I don't know, several bushes over in there. I have fish sticks here. Now she's up there in that corner. So. But the guy I got this boat from, like I said, a dear friend for a long, long time. We bank fished at the Ohio River, catfishing a lot of nights. We actually caught a lot of fish. See if I can come up with some without identifying him out here, you know, and put on the side. But we just never made the connection on the boat. I don't know if he was ready to sell it back then. This is long before I bought it. And I wasn't quite on point with what I was going to do just yet either, you know. Like I said, I'm quite content taking the folding chair and the catfish rigs down to the river and sitting on the bank. But, you know, I got nothing against this boat thing. So we had fished a lot, and we finally made the connection on that boat. You know, we just happened to mention that I was getting towards that direction or doing that thing, and here's how it come about. but it's been 8 years. I've had this boat, and like I said, a lot of mileage, a lot of hours, uncountable. I can't even, oh, there it is. Oh, incoming.
Got my tree.
Well, yeah, you got a skirt on your worm there now. Yeah, like I said, folks, even if we ain't catching fish, we're having fun. That could have been the key to landing that big lunker, that natural skirt there. I mean, it's pretty chartreuse looking. Let's see. Oh, okay, she's right there where she needs to be. This is just a peek, folks. Like I said, even if we ain't catching fish, we're having a blast. We really are. I've yet to wet a line. I need to quit that and get moving here, but I think I'm going to wait till after we picnic before I get started, because we're fixing to eat a little dinner here, see what she pulls out of the magic cooler tonight. The usual? All right. But it's, we've got here, I'm going to call it 3:15. It is now 5:02, so she got one bite over in there just to the left a couple of feet of where she's at now. And that's the only action we've had. She's worked this whole area. We're about to, once we eat, bail out of here, go try another hole. Huh?
I agree.
So first of all, we got come around this point. Now, we've caught fish here. We done the cane pole challenge here, and we caught a lot of bluegill.
Yeah.
But they're not biting today, or as yet anyway. But this is where we done the cane pole challenge here a couple of years ago. And we need to do that again. That was a blast.
It was.
I need to get another cane pole because I had to fool around and break mine. I'll rig it up. Anyway, I've not gave up on my bluegill pursuit yet this year. I'm just not having any luck with that though. You know, in the very first 2 years we ever come to this lake, long before YouTube, we didn't catch any bluegills. That turned into the game fish for us, you know, as the challenge fish. Try to catch the bluegills because we wasn't catching any. And there hasn't been very many since then out of this lake.
No?
It's not like you'd think it would be, so.
Not like Tycoon and now the rest.
No, I mean, you know, everywhere else you can yank bluegills out till your arm's tired and you get sick of it. But that's not been the case in this lake. Dinner time. I was really looking forward to...
I'm not used for that.
What is that? Mustard? Mm-hmm. Really looking forward to fried chicken, some tater salad, and...
Yeah, right.
This is supposed to be a country picnic now. What's the deal?
We're on a boat.
And?
No.
Hey, we've got backpacking stoves. We got full-on camping stoves. We can beach this thing, and you can put on a big old picnic if we want. And that reminds me, we will do a clean and cook here one of these days on the lake. Here's the weird thing. You know, we start throwing back because you don't know if you're going to get enough to do such a thing, to fool with keeping. I ain't going to waste nothing. Then we end up catching a bunch. Then the days you're, okay, we're going to do that today. Then you end up not catching anything, not even enough for sushi. Mustard. Dukes. Or not Dukes, Plockman's. I'm thinking Duke's mayonnaise. There is no other on either of those two. Plockman's mustard and Duke's mayonnaise. Turkey sandwiches, I presume.
Yes, sir.
Do we have chocolate chip cookies?
No.
Do we have potato chips?
No.
Do we have some tater salad?
No.
What about macaroni salad?
No.
What fun are you? I want you to look. I get sandwich bread. No buns or anything. Look what she's got snuck up there. She's sneaking herself sub buns.
It's the last one from our meatballs. You want this one?
No, you go ahead. Sub buns. I can't even get a dab of tater salad. She folded her lunch meat up just so and put it in there just like Subway does. Let me correct something here. Not correct, but make clear, bring to clarity. Real quick, you know, she's eating a sub bun. I've got regular sandwich bread, and she brings me cheese. I'm not a cheese eater, except for this, Colby cheese. I'll eat Colby cheese, I love it. Don't really care for other cheese. But anyway, yeah. She gives the option, you want buns or regular bread? Regular buns, sub buns is too much bread. If y'all remember, I got the beatus, and I got to watch my intake of that stuff. So I opt for the least amount of bread. By looking at it, you know, regular buns is thick, you know, the sub buns is a lot of bread. So I truthfully opt for the least amount of bread just to keep from aggravating the beatus while we're out having fun. So no, dear, I'm not abused. I hope these show up, these spots out on this water. They're everywhere. They're bait fish swirling around. See if I can get that light. You can see some there. Not sure about the reflection of the rest, but they're everywhere, all over this water. Everything is full, been eaten. We're in secret spot number 2. She cast, first cast, as soon as it hit the water, it disappeared, come back up, nothing since. But there's action. Was action. A little early yet for this spot, but we're here.